Hello students, in this video lecture we are going to talk about the Big Five model of personality which is a part of the organizational behavior subject in semester 3 of SYBBI. I am Anubhuti Singh from KEA Shroff College of Arts and Commerce. Before we start with this lecture, I would like to just confirm that you must have gone through these three things before: concept of personality, definitions of personality, and determinants of personality. So in this lecture, what we are going to cover, we are going to talk about who gave the Big Five model of personality, what is this Big Five, the 5 dimensions of personality, and Big Five at the workplace. So how does the Big Five model relate to the workplace? So let us start with it. The Big Five model, if we talk of who gave this model, so mostly any model or any theory, when we talk about that, the first thing that comes to our mind is who's associated with this model, who is the one who gave the model. So this model has not been associated with a single person, because there have been a number of researchers who have worked on this model. Started with Ernest Tupes and Raymond Crystal in 1961, followed by Goldberg, Cattell, and then Costa and McRae. So Costa and McRae are the names that you can remember. You don't have to remember all the other names. So this model actually got its final shape in 1990s. Now coming to what is the Big Five, the theory claims that we can describe ourselves with 5 main characteristics or 5 main domains. Now that means our personality can be considered as a combination of these 5 different domains. So what are these domains? First is openness, then conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Most of these are new words to you, right? So if you see the first letters of these words, you will find that these make up for a good acronym, OCEAN, and that is why this Big Five model is also sometimes known as the OCEAN model, or also the 5-factor model. Now let us discuss each of these domains one by one. Openness, this trait, openness to experience, this personality trait measures our receptivity to new ideas and experiences. That means how ready we are to venture into new experiences. So those people who are high on this trait or this domain, they are curious, imaginative, artistic, playful, creative, daring, they are ready to take any kind of risks, and they have flexible attitude. So such people are ready to take initiative, they are adventurous. Those who are low on this domain, they are conventional, they love routine things, and they are less curious, less imaginative. They do not have much flexibility, and they do not like to be in unknown situations. They don't like uncertainty. Now coming to the next one, conscientiousness. A little difficult word to pronounce, but yes, you will be able to do this. Now conscientiousness, this trait refers to the quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. What does that mean? If a person who is highly conscientious, if he is given or she is given some work, that person feels that it is his or her duty to perform that work well. So they are highly dependable people. Let's see the traits of these people. Those who are high on conscientiousness, they are dependable, organized, self-disciplined, honest, careful, and responsible. So they are an asset to any organization they work in. Whereas people low on this dimension or this domain, they are unreliable, impulsive, lack self-discipline, careless, and they are irresponsible. When they do any work also, they are doing it either to avoid punishment or to gain some kind of reward. Now coming to extraversion. You must have heard the words extrovert and introvert, so this is pertaining to those only. The extraversion personality trait refers to how outgoing or social a person is. A person who is very social is known as extrovert. So extroverts are social, talkative, attention seeking, friendly, expressive, assertive, and they maintain many relationships. They are party animals. They bring life to any party. And then if we talk about the next ones, those who are low on this domain, they are introverts. So they are reserved, quiet, cautious, shy. They maintain few relationships, and they prefer to spend their time alone rather than in the company of others. Coming to agreeableness, this trait, personality trait, is about how much you wish to agree with the others. So agreeableness is a person's tendency to be compassionate and cooperative with the others. People high on this trait, they will be polite, accepting, forgiving, cooperative, gentle. They get along well with the others, and they dislike any kind of confrontation. So they do not put their demands in front of others. They are ready to accept whatever the others say. Then Those who are low on this trait, they are rude, suspicious, irritable, uncooperative, individualistic, and they do not care much about the other's needs. If they confront anyone, they do not do it in the right way, and so people normally do not like such people. Now, neuroticism is the last of these big five domains. So, neuroticism is a person's tendency to experience negative emotions easily. These people experience negative emotions more, and they are not able to come out of it very easily. So neurotics or emotionally unstable people, they are anxious, depressed, moody, self-doubting, angry, sensitive, and insecure. Most of these are, in fact, all of these are negative emotions. You may say sensitivity is not negative emotion, but yes, it is also, because they're not able to come out of a situation, they are not able to move on. Now, coming to those who are low on this domain, they are emotionally stable people. So they are calm, they are satisfied, and they are less reactive to stress. That means that they have stressful situations, but they are able to manage those situations in a much better way than the others. Now, how does the Big Five model relate to the workplace? Which of these domains do you think is the most important when it comes to the workplace? Yes, I think you guessed it right. It is conscientiousness, because any person who's high in conscientiousness is highly dependable. Any work given to them, the superior can rest assured that this work will be done well. So these are an asset to the organization. Open people are more adaptable, and they accept changes easily, so they can be sent to such assignments where there is a little bit of uncertainty about conditions. So they can be sent to such assignments where you find culturally very diverse kind of people. Now, coming to extroverts, they are likely to be better leaders because they're liked by people, and they also are able to work with people better, but sometimes their decisions are impulsive. Emotionally stable people, they are able to cope up with work demands easily, so they are able to manage stressful situations in a better way. They are also able to maintain their work-life balance in a better way. Then agreeableness, this relates to being good with teams, following rules, and being job satisfied. So such people are liked in the workplace, in the teams. So agreeableness is also a good trait for the workplace scenario. So I hope you have got a good idea about the Big Five model and how it relates to the workplace. Thank you for listening to me.